Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with us. This time, we're going to be looking at a story called Clever Fish. It's a pretty short story, but we
Yeah.
think there's a lot to unpack here about survival and wit and maybe even like a little reverse psychology.
I love these folk tales.
Yeah.
They're so simple, but they have such profound lessons
Yeah.
about human nature.
Yeah. And this one is no exception.
Yeah.
Um, so how does this Clever Fish story begin?
Well, it starts with a fisherman, and he's,
Yeah.
he's going down to the river, and he wants to catch a whole bunch of fish.
Okay, he's going
Yeah.
for,
Like the big haul.
yeah, the big one. He wants to make some money at the market.
Right.
So he casts his net, and he waits and he waits, and boom, he feels like this huge weight.
Okay.
He's like, oh,
He thinks he's got it.
I got a whole school of fish here.
Yeah. So he pulls up the net.
He pulls up the net,
Yeah.
and to his surprise, there's only one tiny little fish in there.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what happens? Well, here's where it gets really interesting. This little fish starts talking.
Oh, this
And
guy.
it doesn't beg for its life. It makes a deal.
Really, a talking fish making deals. I mean, what does it
It
do?
says, if you put me back in the water, I will tell my friends about how nice you were, and next time you come fishing, you'll catch even more fish.
Wow. Okay, so the fish is using the fisherman's greed against him.
Yeah, what do you think about this? What do you think about the fisherman?
Well, I think he really messed up. I
Yeah.
mean, he's so focused on getting more that he's willing to let go of what he already has.
Right, he's blinded by greed.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the allure of future riches. It's like he's not even thinking straight.
He's not thinking critically. He's not looking at the reality of the situation.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important lesson.
Yeah.
For all of us, Sometimes we get so caught up in wanting more that we end up losing what we already have.
Absolutely.
It's a very
The
human flaw.
A classic case of wanting more and losing all.
Right. But the fish is playing a much smarter game.
Yeah. This fish is thinking strategically.
Totally. It knows how to get what it wants.
It understands human psychology and knows exactly what to say.
And it takes this like life or death situation
Yeah, it flips it on its head.
and turns it into a chance for freedom.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I mean, talk about cleverness, turning weakness into strength,
Yeah.
using your enemies, desires against them.
I mean, what can we learn from this?
Well, I think it teaches us to think outside the box, to be resourceful, when you're in a tough spot.
Right.
Don't just panic. Try to think of a clever way out.
Assess the situation and play your cards.
Exactly, like the fish did.
Have you ever been in a situation where a clever solution worked better than?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to use your wits. Instead of just trying to force your way through, it's about being strategic and adaptable.
And it's so interesting how this simple story
Yeah.
about a talking fish
Yeah.
can teach us so much.
Right. There's another layer here, too. Think about it. The fish wins by disappearing.
Okay, it goes back into the water and it's gone. So is that always the best way to win?
That's a good question. Is it always better to be invisible? Or do we need to be seen to make a difference?
That's a really good point. I never thought of it that way. So being clever is important for survival, but sometimes stepping back can be an even bigger victory.
That's right. So how do we balance those two things? How do we be clever, like the fish, but also make a difference in the world? That's something to think about.
Yeah, that is definitely something to think about. Well, thank you so much for taking us on this deep dive into clever fish. It's amazing how much wisdom we can find in these
Yeah.
seemingly simple stories. I think that's all the time we have for today. So until next time, happy reading.